Welcome to the Late Break Show. I'm Jonny Smith. This is a vlog with my own fair hand at the Retro Rides gathering in our enclosure. Let's have a walk around. Well, we decided to try and bring some of the playlists to life like we usually do at the events. So bring some of the cars that you've seen already on the channel that have been quite popular. For example, you might remember the car cave with Craig, who brought the Diablo 30th anniversary. We had to try and get that along. He drove it here this morning and he said it was actually pretty good going. Didn't get too hot under the collar. I love seeing it there because you just don't see them out in the wild normally. The thing I like about shows like the Retro Ride Show, I have to say, they've always been really well organised, always welcoming of all genres of cars. And although this is, you know, a very aspirational poster car for a lot of people, it rubs shoulders with everything like a Suzuki Alto. My brother Greg had one of those, an Alto. It was incredibly slow. Or this, look, some Motocompos. Coming over here, this is another car you might recognise from the playlist from a previous episode. This is Richard King's Drillium, lightest 911 in the world. It's great to see it out in the open, people seeing it after watching the episode, because it is something else. It really is. I like a bit of contrast. Everything from a drift car to an EV converted Mini. That's Specialist Components EV Mini, gorgeous thing. Oh yeah. You got the Dave from Retro Ford has brought his sleeper Lada along, which I'll never tire of. You're in the passenger seat now. You decided to have a break. It's more comfortable, isn't it? So we'll go down here. That's my old shitter there. One of my old shitters next to the merch stand. Decided to peddle some merch. Up here we got some car cave cars. So you saw the Diablo of Craig's. You might remember one of the earliest car caves I did was Richard in Nottingham. He's brought his 964 911 restomod along, and the lovely, still looks great, motorhome, ex-mountain rescue ambulance Defender. We've got Paul Harding here with his Corvette LS motored E36, and next to which we've got a recent car cave. Richard Parry has brought along his Maserati Indy, a real rare groove car that you never see. Next to, from Scotland, I'm so pleased that we managed to get this here. Ex-Chrysler dealer Avenger, obviously Colin McRae's first rally car that he borrowed. It's great to have it down here. Thanks to Wooly for letting us borrow it, and thanks to Ross for bringing it down. What a lovely selection of cars, and all very different. And then onto another 70s rally thing. That's a Lister Belt LB Stratos. Great build, great thing, with the Alpha V6 in it. If we go around to the other side, look at that. Can you see that? Nissan Bluebird ZX Turbo, I think, next to a Ferrari Mondial, the 2+2, the practical one. I really like these. I was excited when I saw that this was going to be displayed. Lovely airbagged stack headlight Mercedes. This is absolutely beautiful, this car. Got a full length rag top. The interior is to die for. Making our way up here, 53 Chevy Bel Air. Next to another Mondial. We've got two Ferraris here in our enclosure, and they're both Mondials. It's great. Next to a lovely, I think it's a 1999 Impreza Type R Japanese import. Gorgeous thing. Bit of sun damage. Rear wiper on a two-door, always quirky. Corrado, couple of minis. There's a 1275 GT next to a Cooper S, both beautiful actually. Really clean. Yeah. Oh, there's an SD1 over there. I'll have to look at the SD1 and a clean Peugeot 205 XS. It's not often that you get a NASCAR truck turning up. A real competitive, I think he imported it himself, 2010 Silverado NASCAR pickup. Is that your Saab?
It is, isn't it?
I love it. Look at this. This Saab 99. That's great, isn't it? Lovely colour. 205 GTI. Next to a lovely Bedford motor caravanette, as they used to call them. Next to the classic range. But this is what I was most pleased to announce we were going to bring to this event. Probably my most popular video actually, the Lambo Espada barn find. It's running and driving now, having been bought and recommissioned. Bodywork as was. And it's great. It's great to have it in the centre of our field. And then, you know, it's rubbing shoulders with a lovely Baur E21 convertible. The Baur, chap called Ian brought along his RS 200, drove it here. You don't see them on the road, but I did this morning, and that's really clean. Some loser brought along their ex-Tokyo taxi, which is nice. Look at that, really clean Mark III Cav. Gosh. God, I remember when they used to have badges like ABS on them. Absolute time warp. So yeah, this is our enclosure in the Retro Rides gathering. Really great to have people wanting to come along and display their cars. Bit of everything here. Like I said before, we've got a Dolomite, a late model Dolomite right at the end. Just wanted to walk to. Late model Dolomite, right, 1980. And then I swivel the camera around and we have a quirky thing, a 309 GTI, which I've always liked the Peugeot 309 GTI, but this one is a Japanese import, automatic, rare spec, oddly rare, very, very clean. Oh look, 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 look. Cheeky bottle of Brut on the parcel shelf. If you know Miles, who if you've watched any of the Generation Flex videos, I'll put a link to that for young people who are owning different cars, modified cars. Miles is the guy that presents that on our show. This is his frequently driven, almost daily driven DeLorean. Always great to see it, never boring. We put it next to a guy I'm friends with called Ollie, who's got his lovely 911. And the reason why it's extra clean is because he owns a cleaning company. Next to my nephew's car of the show, Oscar, who loves an R32. This is a really nice stock R32. If you've never seen it, I'll put a link above my head now of the car cave owned by a chap called Vernon. And Vernon he's brought two of his little Fiats along. He loves a little Fiat. He's got a Seat Marbella camper van, of which there aren't many around. And he's got one of about, I think he's got something like 20 Pandas. He's got his modified Fiat Panda, which I drove in a previous episode of the Late Break Show. In fact, he's over there sat in a chair. There he is. Hi, Vernon. Are you down to about 18 Pandas now, or? 28. 28? Amazing. BTCC, replica, Volvo, 850. Look at that thing, what a great looking car. Next to a four-door Chevy Chevelle Malibu. Very clean. Look at this. I'm going to go behind here. Notice, us car people can't resist it. As soon as an engine bay is revealed, we all have to go and peer in. It's sort of weird voyeurism, but I like it. Lovely Mark I four-door Cortina GT. This is really nice. Seen some pictures of this before. Next to an incredibly clean, in the opposite colour to the Cortina, an R33 Skyline GTR. This is gorgeous. And next to that, Alto I was telling you about, first generation I think Alto. And my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, they had one of these years ago as a little run around as an automatic, the slowest car I've ever driven, but fun. And of course we've got the modified Honda Acti pickup truck on hydraulic suspension, which is always immaculately turned out with a little RC car. Hang on a minute, what on earth is that? Is that a computer actually running? And an RC version of the car, wow. It's only an Escort Estate flight. Again, rare but nobody cares. When was the last time you saw one? So whether your bag is Diablos, drilled out 911s, Skylines, Altos, rear-wheel drive Fords, or even a hot rod that's been made out of, it's basically a rebodied Jensen Interceptor from what I can gather. Really, really cool thing. Probably quite responsive, being a 440 cubic inch and being a very light car. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Late Break Show. Thanks for watching all of them if you're a subscriber. And if you support this channel through Patreon, you're legends, we love you. If you want to know more about that and how you can watch videos like this earlier for a couple of quid a month, I'll put a link in the description. And you can buy merch if you want, like the merch over there on the merch stand. Yeah, I think we might have a sale on as well soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.